Well, I'm a reporter who was at one point contacted by Christy Blanchard, and now I don't connect with them because they're liars. And I have been connected through my contacts to the Petri family. I've been involved in this case for 6 years. So I'm not a new TikToker that does this. And I'm definitely not posting gossip or trying to get this, like, you know, I don't care about really the stupid stuff.
Hi, beautiful people. Hope you guys are doing well. First off, I would like to acknowledge and send my deepest condolences to friends and family of those that lost their loved ones in the truck attack in New Orleans. And also to those that were injured, I wish you a speedy recovery. And like I said, everyone is in my thoughts and prayers. Without a crystal ball, I made this post on Wednesday. I have been asked to share a message from family members of DEE DEE Blanchard regarding their recent decision to speak. The sisters Claudia and Dora are incredibly thankful and grateful for all the support they have received recently. For years, they have felt silenced and ignored, and they are finally feeling comfortable sharing their side of the story. Over the years, the Petris have faced incredible betrayal by documentarians, journalists, and content creators. For now, the family is asking that the public and other content creators limit their private messages to them. While they appreciate the support, they have chosen to speak on my platform based upon the trust we have been able to establish through months of careful communication. It's very strange that she says months of communication because, if I remember correctly, because of PINKPONYCLUB and her time and efforts that actually went into her going down to Louisiana, actually made it possible for many people, including without a crystal ball, to actually witness what actually went down at the book signing of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. That actually led to one of the Petri sisters leaving a comment thanking PINKPONYCLUB. And let's not forget, after stealing Pink Pony's content prior, Without a Crystal Ball had an issue with her actually going down to Louisiana to this book signing, and she expressed that on a live alongside with Fancy Maselli. Now, when Katie Joy was made aware of this comment on a live that she was on TikTok, she actually gave pushback and was asking, is this valid? Do they know it was her? Did they verify it was her? Well, it seems as though Katie Joy went and did her own digging and found out that comment was actually left by Dee Dee's sister, because Katie Joy posted it to her Instagram. And what do you know? This time she actually tagged Pink Pony. So let's cut the bullshit, Katie Joy, with you saying through months of careful communication, you should be saying thanks to PINKPONYCLUB for wanting the best for Dee Dee and willing to put herself in harm's way to do what was right, for doing something to get justice for Dee Dee. She is the true MVP. Now let's go back and see what Katie Joy was doing prior to these few months before she got kicked out of the clique, and how she participated in the con, scam, grift, whatever feels right to you. Because like I have demonstrated before, and this is for the people in the back that missed it before, this first clip is from the same person that Katie Joy decided to dox last night, Haiti Joyless, that has so much more that she can expose about Katie Joy. And for Katie Joy to say that Haiti Joyless, her life is so pathetic, and the only way she has a following is by creating a parody account, she's out of pocket. I cannot speak for Haiti Joyless. I'm sure she will make a video addressing Katie Joy. So anyways, this is when Katie Joy was covering the Gypsy story. And this is when she said that Dee Dee deserved to die.
So DEE DEE Blanchard's case, just wrapped up, right? So Nicholas Godejohn just got sentenced to life in prison for killing her, which PS is super stupid. He shouldn't have gotten life in prison. DEE DEE deserved to die.
So apparently, now this was done, I want to say 2018, 2019. I'm not too sure about that. But anyway, apparently the family did find out about this and they forgave Katie Joy for actually saying this, and she gave some excuse about she found out the truth which we're going to get to. Also, I will leave Heidi Joyler's channel down in the description box. Please go and check her out. Now, let me show you. In 2019, without a crystal ball, I mentioned this in my previous video, I had a meeting with Fancy. And Fancy offered Katie Joy all the proof and evidence of the entire Gypsy Rose Blanchard case. Well, without a crystal ball chose to actually be deceitful and reach out to Christy and spill all the beans on what Fancy told her about Christy. So she chose to ignore the proof and evidence and basically thought that she could hit the jackpot, and she probably did hit the jackpot because after Without a Crystal Ball reached out to Christy. And I promise you, to me it seemed as though Without a Crystal Ball actually reached out to Christy whilst she was in the meeting with Fancy, and they became friends. Now, with her becoming friends with Christy, she felt that she had first-hand information, so she was good. But she still didn't care about the truth because, once again, Fancy offered her all this. Fancy was the only one that had all this information. She offered it to her back in 2019. Katie Joy refused it. She trusted Christy with everything she had. And let's not forget, Katie Joy claims to be a reporter/journalist. So there's no excuse for Katie Joy because she should have still done her due diligence. So 8 months ago, Without a Crystal Ball still felt that Dee Dee deserved to die. Just that she used different wording and paid close attention to what she says.
I'm never going to pile on this girl. I'm never going to say that she's a horrible person because she's not. She's an imperfect person. And I actually think in many ways her mom's death to me felt justified because it was like if Dee Dee didn't die, Gypsy was. That's how I've always viewed it. That's how I've always understood it. And that's my perspective.
So up until 8 months ago, Without a Crystal Ball felt that Dee Dee Blanchard's death was justified. Now let's go a step further.
But so anyway, I was reading through the messages and Vicki Lewis says, yeah, she was just getting questions for her book and she got triggered and she remembered something she had forgotten. Like what?
Oh, yeah.
You just forgot that happened and now you remembered it because you're writing a book, Gypsy? And then she's like, and I told Gypsy that sometimes remembering the truth is as good as therapy. Remembering the truth is as good as therapy. How are you going to tell someone that? How are you going to help someone remember that? It's like you're a therapist planting memories at that point.
Okay, so Without a Crystal Ball is saying that by her going back to her messages when Vicky, the family friend of the Blanchards, told her how Gypsy suddenly remembered what she accused her grandfather of doing to her. Why wasn't that an instant red flag for Without a Crystal Ball? In turn, Without a Crystal Ball promoted what Gypsy was accusing her grandfather of doing, and as you can see by these screenshots, when Without a Crystal Ball actually posted what was in Gypsy's book because she said she got an advanced copy, and Christy had to tell Without a Crystal Ball to remove those posts, which she did. And Without a Crystal Ball still didn't back off. She still didn't do her due diligence. She continued to support Gypsy in her false allegations against Mr. Petri. Let's keep going.
So this is them saying that, Fancy and Natasha are lying that Gypsy didn't get therapy. She didn't get therapy. They told me for years that Gypsy was getting therapy. They lied to me.
She got about as much therapy as I did.
But Vicki said, I didn't go into specifics about the abuse because it's not my story to tell. I've gone through it too. So it's like Vicki's a survivor of that. And so she's planting that bullshit into Gypsy's head. And it's like, when this was all happening, I'm like, you guys are manipulating her, or else she just wants to be manipulated with lies. Like, who cares?
This proves that Without a Crystal Ball chose to ignore the truth because in a meeting with Fancy in 2019, and I will show you, Fancy told Without a Crystal Ball that Gypsy wasn't getting therapy.
She's not doing any therapy?
Nope.
No, and she has not requested it. She had access, and she never ever one time requested to go.
We found that out the other day, that she's never once asked to see a doctor and never once asked for the therapist.
And Christy and them have been talking about, oh, well, she needs help, but we don't know how to get it to her. Well, we found out that's not the case. The case is that in jail, she was offered and she declined and never asked to go. And in prison, she has many opportunities and she doesn't want to go. But yet we called that out the other day. And immediately after we called it out, then Christy, who has been, we hadn't been talking and now we are again. But now I've gotten to a point where I just had to let her go again because I can't deal with all the lies that I'm told every day by her. So she talked to me and she's like, oh, well, Dr. Phil, I'm talking to Dr. Phil's people right now to see if they can get somebody in to see Gypsy. Well, that was offered years ago. And she said, oh, well, he sent self-help books and he's going to see, his people are going to see her after she gets out. Well, I'm the one who told her, that you can get an injunction for somebody to actually come in and see her.
Yeah.
Your own private. And she's like, oh, well, I didn't know that.
We did find out that prison has an actual psychiatrist they use interns for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when ready to her case, the actual psychiatrist that oversees the rest of them would come in. Because of the extent of this case, of how severe it is. And it's never been asked for, never been sought out. Her new statement is she doesn't need help because Ken is the only thing that she needs to help her go forward.
And this proves that Without a Crystal Ball chose to buy into the bullshit that Christy was selling her, and she bought it hook, line, and sinker. And for what? Clout. Moving on.
You know what really disgusts me about Christy is for years what she would tell me is like, Nick is he's very mild. It's barely autism. And I was like, bitch, please.
Wow, Katie Joy, you truly are pathetic. You will sell, you don't even have a soul. You will do anything for fucking clout. Let's take a look at how you continued to villainize Nick for the sake of remaining in good graces with the Blanchards. These are screenshots that Without a Crystal Ball was very selective about. She says, actual text messages between Gypsy Rose and her co-defendant. Nicholas Godejohn wasn't manipulated by Gypsy. He frequently threatened her and demanded she obey him. It's all in the trial text messages. Do you know how many trial text messages there were? And she only decided to put 4 up. These specific 4 that made Nick look like the bad person. His trial had a forensic expert that reviewed evidence on their social media text messages and Facebook. Despite the act and the media claiming Gypsy manipulated him, prosecutors were clear that he was not manipulated. He wanted to kill and told Gypsy he wanted to kill. He obsessed about killing.
What my question about the interrogation is, why didn't the police stop it when he was like, I have autism and I have voices in my head?
Well, Without a Crystal Ball, Miss Reporter, Miss Advocate, my son also has autism. And when asked by Fancy if your son was capable of murder, you said yes, with no hesitation.
It's intelligent.
But that doesn't, you can be intelligent and autistic.
Yeah, no, autistic, absolutely. No, not the same, no.
But he's not developmentally slow in any means, no.
But autism is considered a developmental disability.
It's considered a neurological disability.
No, it affects all aspects of development. My son is autistic, so
okay. Do you believe that your son could be manipulated into murdering somebody?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Why? And how? And where is your son at on the spectrum?
He's high functioning.
He's high functioning. Why do you think that could happen?
Because they're vulnerable.
Is that you're actually the first one that we've talked to that has said that?
I think anyone that has autism can be manipulated because they're vulnerable.
This is just my opinion, but I have never come across a mother that willingly and with no hesitation would say that their son is capable of murder the way Katie Joy had done. And also, in my opinion, I feel it is so wrong for her to say that everyone that has autism is vulnerable. Moving on.
This is what Claudia said about Rod and Christy. They wanted nothing to do with Gypsy, and it makes me sick. They wanted nothing to do with Gypsy until she was arrested and Dee Dee was dead. And she was famous. That's what Claudia said. They didn't give a shit about her. Claudia said that they were asked to participate in a documentary, and she said they only put me and Dorla and Yogi's interview, who's Evans, out there. And they kept Pookie's interview off the air because he told the truth about Rod. I asked Claudia today what she meant by that, and she said in his interview, he was asked about Rod, and he told them that Rod was a terrible father, that abandoned Gypsy, wasn't there for her when she was sick, was never good to Dee Dee, was on drugs and drinking, violent, and just a no good guy. And no one in the family liked him because of what he did to Dee Dee and Gypsy. So that's what Pookie said in the interview, that's Claude Jr. But Christy threatened the production company and said, if you put his interview in the show, you will never talk to us again. Gypsy has refused to see any of her mom's siblings because they refuse to entertain this notion that Dee Dee deserved to die. They're not going to enable her delusion. They don't believe she deserved to die. Claudia also said, my sister was not perfect, and if it was for her to die, she should have died in jail, but not by them playing God. I just wish them the pain we all have in our heart. We have no closure. We wonder about the what ifs, but we can't go back. But every time we open TikTok, we see sadness, a new baby, our blood, and we can't be happy. They're not happy about the baby.
Again, everything that you heard Katie Joy say that Dee Dee's sisters said, Fancy told her all this in 2019, and she chose to ignore the truth. Instead, she wanted to become friends and close with Christy Blanchard, and she succeeded. Now, in regard to Rod, again, Fancy told her in 2019 that Rod didn't want to have anything to do with Gypsy, and that he even signed his rights away to another child. Do you know that Without a Crystal Ball sat on a TikTok live, going over court records, divulging information about the other woman that Rod Blanchard got pregnant, calculating when she conceived? How is that relevant to what is going on? Why is she bringing up innocent people, involving innocent people that have no relevance to what Gypsy has done? Rod and Christy are shitty parents that Without a Crystal Ball fully and willingly supported for 5 years. It saddens me to think that the Petri family have such ill feelings towards an innocent baby that didn't choose to be born into this mess. And once again, this same person Without a Crystal Ball that they chose and decided it was a safe space for them to speak on her platform, she's the same person that felt that their sister deserved to die. They forgave her for it because they felt it was years ago. But let's go back to recently, 8 months ago, when Without a Crystal Ball still fully supported Gypsy and the Blanchards, and she said that she felt her sister's death was justified. Without a Crystal Ball fully 100% stood firm in support of Gypsy and the Blanchards for more than half of Gypsy's prison time. She covered for Gypsy when Gypsy was fucking up. She condoned their lies, their schemes, and their illegal activity. She defended them with every fiber of her being. She saw all the pushback that Gypsy and the Blanchards were receiving. Without a Crystal Ball said she is a journalist.
And what pisses me off as a journalist, and I hate people that come from BuzzFeed, by the way.
Journalist, my ass. What credentials do you have, Katie Joy? Now, this so-called journalist seemed to have had her feelings hurt because Gypsy and the Blanchards seem to have kept in the dark about Gypsy's meeting with the Kardashians, and did she flip her shit that she decided she will expose them. I can't support this anymore. I have stood by for 5 years in support of Gypsy and her family, but I have reached the end of my journey. I have made my feelings known to the family. I made them clear in January. Profiting off murder is wrong. Becoming famous for murder is wrong. Setting up trust funds to bypass laws regarding profiting off crime is wrong. There is no advocacy here. There is only a quest for fame and money. In fact, one of their producers told them, go get your bag. They have been hyped up by Melissa Moore, who exploits crime victims and has made Gypsy and her family believe they are famous. Melissa believes Gypsy can get rich off this, according to what I was told. This is what it's about: money. Gypsy was abused, but she is still a murderer. I have been clear about my concerns for months, but I can't do this anymore. What were you doing? Condoning their bad behavior, Katie Joy? Gypsy isn't a bad person, but bad people in Hollywood are in her head. They believe anyone critical are haters. It is wrong to glorify murder. She was told to stay off social media, but she reopened her accounts. She was getting in fights with people on TikTok in comments. She was told to not get involved with Ken during her divorce by her lawyer. She was told not to speak to the media. I found out a few weeks ago it is Gypsy that is leaking to the tabloids. It's all too much. I just hope that at some point they can see that fame and money is not the goal. Meeting Kim Kardashian and the red carpet fanfare is where I tap out, because this was not what they said they wanted or that would happen. I wish them the best until I can see change. And who the fuck do you think you are? And work that is beyond money and fame, that doesn't align with my platform in any capacity. Abuse victims can't survive without murdering their abuser. Gypsy does have a microdeletion. I saw the records this winter. She has many actual issues due to the disorder. DEE DEE exaggerated the symptoms for money and attention. I do believe Gypsy's developmental issues are part of the disorder, but this is just my gut feeling. Gypsy did not need a feeding tube and never had seizures. Wow, this didn't age well. She was abused, but she did not have to kill her mother. She made another post. I can't support this at all. This has become about fame and money. Too many people are telling Gypsy to get a bag. Money has been put in trust to avoid the appearance of profiting off crime. The Hollywood people around Gypsy are not helping her at all. By seeing those posts, one would think that, oh good, she saw the light, because she clearly states in that post some quite disturbing actions and something I personally would not condone. Well, if you are thinking that she separated herself from them, apparently not, because that was just a tantrum from without a crystal ball. The next day, they all kissed and made up. She actually archived this post and went right back to supporting Gypsy and the Blanchards. I have archived my previous post about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, not because I still don't feel concerned or have issues with the way Lifetime is handling the situation, but no matter what, my post came from a place of protection. I want to be clear that Christy nor Gypsy manipulate or dictate my feelings about them. When I have a concern, I can always express my feelings to them. I stand firm that I don't like how Lifetime has handled her story. I don't believe the image they portray of her on socials gives the story the seriousness or care that it deserves. Gypsy is not a perfect victim. I don't agree with the fact that she murdered DEE DEE, but the thing about Gypsy is that she doesn't believe she should have murdered her mother either. I don't have to support every decision that she makes to still want the best for her and her family. Gypsy is impulsive. She will tell you that herself. She also has trauma from her abuse and often reacts from a trauma response when she feels out of control. She isn't an evil, horrible human. She is flawed, like we all are. My concern for her is that she takes care of herself. I sometimes forget that she's under contract and has a massive network that is pushing all of this out. So much of what is posted on social media is done by Lifetime. Gypsy and I had a very long talk today, and I was very, very open with her about my concerns, and she heard them and agreed, and she does need to take a step back. I will never pile on her. I will never hate her for her crime. I will support her taking care of herself and getting help. I don't want my friendship of 5 years with Christy to end over Lifetime's agenda. Christy isn't a bad person. She's a fierce, protective mom. But my favorite thing about Christy and Gypsy is that I can tell them that I do not agree with what I'm seeing, and they don't get mad. Gypsy is not in violation of the terms of her parole. Lifetime is using her platforms for promotion. She is allowed to be paid to share her life today because it has nothing to do with her crime. Gypsy will never convince the public of who she is or who she is not. She did a Q&A on her Instagram, so let's just take a look at a few of the questions that she answered. Did you get backlash from Gypsy's family over your post? No, none. Christy was just worried and told me that she knew that I was coming from a place of love and protection. She was more worried about me than my post. Gypsy was hurt but understood where I was coming from and didn't disagree with my concerns. I acted out of a place of wanting to protect her because I do not trust anything Godejohn. What happened during your phone call with Gypsy? I mean, I can't divulge our conversation. She listened to my concerns and I got a better temperature of where she is at. Gypsy isn't a character. It's very easy for people online to draw opinions of her life when they don't know her. I mean, I think people want me to say that Gypsy's a master manipulator, but she's actually owns up to her shit and is honest to her faults. I can't say so much of what people believe about her are so wrong. She's just a person trying to figure out life and making mistakes. Also, there's this weird chick on TikTok talking about Gypsy's microdeletion, claiming Gypsy had the symptoms listed on the website she found. Gypsy has never had seizures, ever. She did not need a feeding tube and can eat on her own. She does not have any muscle weakness and never needed a wheelchair. Dee Dee's excuse for the wheelchair changed from muscular dystrophy, which she didn't have, to paralysis, which she didn't have. Gypsy was not allowed to walk around her house or play and forced to stay in the chair by Dee Dee. Gypsy doesn't have any cognitive delays, and her IQ is normal and was tested in prison. When Gypsy was involved in another unhealthy relationship with her husband, she didn't raise a hand. She didn't plot a murder. She called her attorney and got out of her apartment before she was hurt. That's a fact. Is that a fact without a crystal ball? Or was that you being the fixer because you later admitted how you were around to correct the messy narrative when in reality you were the one being messy because, as you admitted after the second and final time you got kicked out of the clique, when you went onto MORBID's channel, you actually admitted that you were approached by Christy and Christy asked you to be a mentor for Gypsy. Did you take that role so seriously that you thought you could be the one to rehabilitate Gypsy Rose? Or maybe just put a band-aid on the wound in hopes that it would heal and you would be praised for healing the wounded, and in turn, notoriety would pay off with subs, followers, attention, fame, because that is the only thing that is most important to you. But also, you are so desperate for a friend. That could have also been driving you, in my opinion, to lie for Gypsy and the Blanchards, because you clearly stated that Christy and Gypsy could not manipulate or dictate your feelings. And now it seems that is exactly what was happening. And when you so proudly and confidently claimed that you are a journalist / reporter, if that is what it takes for you to get sources, by just stating that you are this journalist / reporter and having no credentials to back you up, have you not learned your lesson with the lawsuit that is ongoing? Besides, you have failed miserably by claiming that you are such, because already you have violated the code of ethics numerous times, because as it states, seek truth and report it. Ethical journalism should be accurate and fair. Journalism should be honest and courageous in gathering, reporting, and interpreting information. Courageous, out the window instantly. And as I have demonstrated in this video, you totally rejected the truth when it was handed to you on a silver platter. You chose to ignore the truth. You chose to deceive your audience knowing you were making posts that were false, and the only time you came clean was when you felt betrayed. Not once, but twice. And now you claim you were deceived. In my opinion, you are seeking revenge on Christy under the guise of helping the family that you contributed in hurting too.
Katie is the only one that we feel comfortable with talking. There's no bashing. Everything she has are facts. I don't care where she got it from. I don't care who, that's the thing. Oh yeah, but she got it from me. We don't want to hear any of that. The point is everything we discuss has there's proof, and Katie has the proof. And yes, other people might have the proof, but they also have the drama. And that's why we're here. We're here to make sure that there's justice for Dee Dee and there's justice for the Petri family. And that's what's important. And anybody that tries to warn us, we're telling y'all now, we don't want to hear it. Don't bother messaging us. We don't want to hear it. Don't bother trying to contact us. We don't want to hear it. If, and it's a big freaking if. And we have a saying here, if was a skiff, we all jump on it and fly away. Well, we're not. But we trust in Katie. Katie's our go-to. Katie's who we're going to talk to. Katie's going to be at the platform that we come and we speak on. And whoever doesn't like it, well, there's this thing. It's called scroll. Well, do you agree with me, Dinah?
I agree 100%.
Okay. And if y'all don't like it, then Dinah's going to tell y'all, PK2, this is where we're at. And this is where we're going to be. And that's all there is to say about it. And we love the chat. Y'all are civil in here. We don't have to worry about people coming at us. If y'all, we have all the proof we need that we are from here, that, what we're about and why we're here. And on top of all of that, there is a connection between Katie and Dinah and me. And that is the fact that we are all autism moms.
The Petri family has made it clear that Without a Crystal Ball is their safe space, where they will speak, and Without a Crystal Ball has facts and no drama, which is a joke. They want justice for Dee Dee and the Petri family, and that is what is important, according to the two ladies that are actually on Katie Joy's panel. But what strikes me is that if you want justice for Dee Dee, why are you limiting yourselves to whose platforms you'll go on? And why would you limit yourselves just to one platform? They do not want any more warnings about Katie Joy or to be contacted. They trust in Katie Joy, and they are bonded by them all being autism mums. So Without a Crystal Ball made another post, to which it states, a group of bullies decided to harass and defame the Petri family last night. Do you think it's acceptable for content creators to bully and verbally abuse victims of crime? Because I heard this pack of vicious bullies say, we don't care about the Petri family. Then stop pretending to care about Dee Dee Blanchard, the same creator defending the Blanchard family despite being anti-gypsy. Makes you wonder where they really stand. Katie Joy has the audacity to make a post about bullies. Listen to how her moderator speaks to people.
But the thing is do you not understand that you are causing division?
Obviously, it's not fun, you little minions
bringing up
over
somebody
here.
else's past, or
I never brought up Katie Joy's past. She brought up mine
fuck
first.
yourself, you dumb whore.
No,
Llama girl KJ needs to be stopped. Why don't you come stop her then, bitch?
Y'all have it's like y'all.
She states, and I quote, Suzette, go fuck yourself, you dumb whore. And then she says, look at Llama girl, KJ. We should be stopped. Why don't you come stop her then, bitch? Faith. You're mighty tough when you're moderating for Katie Joy. Who are you to be calling another woman a whore? Who do you think you are? This is the internet. Do you really think that Katie Joy has your back? You're mighty tough sitting behind a screen calling Llama Girl a bitch. Do you know her? Do you know her story? Do you know why she does what she does? Or just as per usual, you're taking Katie's word. Whatever Katie Joy tells you, you go with it. You just hate the person Katie Joy hates. A typical follower. Sweetheart, I suggest you choose your lane. The woman you are trying to act tough for is not worth it. She's all about the almighty dollar and herself. She is holding on to you because you are obedient. You do her dirty work for her. You are well trained at this point. You are just a follower.
They also said that he was the father.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knew for years that he wasn't.
Yep.
And that's why she was pretty much treated so special.
Because there was the secret, and then her dad died, and they felt guilty. So she was spoiled.
Well, I don't know when her dad died. You know what I'm saying? I just know he did die.
Happy why Claude Sr. went on the documentary and said dad was mean about Dee Dee. It's not really his real daughter.
Wait, what?
No, he loved Dee Dee. But he was at the time of the first thing, he was with his wife, Laura, who hated Dee Dee.
Right.
And Claude was having an affair with Laura for like 20 years. And then when Emma died, he moved Laura in.
Do we like Laura now?
I mean, Dee Dee didn't like Laura. I don't know what the other kids thought of her.
Oh, did you guys hear that? Big Bad Faith can tell another woman to go fuck herself and call her a whore to defend her master Katie Joy, and then challenge Lawmagar whilst calling her a bitch to come stop Katie Joy. Yet has to ask her master Katie Joy if she should be liking a certain person pertaining to the story. How sad and pathetic. Obviously, Faith, you were never taught to be a leader and not a follower. You see, it's quite obvious you don't have a mind of your own. You're so weak. When Katie Joy says jump, you reply how high. Stay obedient, boo. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Did Katie Joy really not know about this whole situation about Gypsy when she went into a friendship with Christy, or did she go into that friendship with expectations? I've explained my opinion about it. She damn well knew that Gypsy was a con artist. She knew what Gypsy was all about. And let's not forget, Fancy told her. I absolutely believe that she is using the Petri family to seek revenge against Gypsy and whoever else she has a vendetta against. I personally, truly believe that. But as I said, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Okay, I'm signing off now. In my next video, I will be continuing with Katie Joy's lies and hypocrisy, going after other creators, and I will also give you a breakdown of who exactly Without a Crystal Ball is and the things she does for money, attention, and clout. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe out there. Be kind to one another, and don't forget, make good memories. Bye, guys.